Okay, we're going to be talking about the socioeconomic status in Wayne County. So the things I want to talk about, first off, I live in Wayne County, in Detroit, Canton, Michigan to be precise, and I'm interested in analyzing the socioeconomic conditions over the past decade. The main factors that affect the socioeconomic conditions are GDP, job growth, and business. I want to look at the unemployment rate, labor force, and population with a degree, how that has changed in the past few years. I will also be looking at the median household income, the real per capita money income, and how real median earnings have changed, and the recent decade. So first off, the unemployment rate. So according to the SEMCOG website, unemployment rate has decreased from 2020 to 2023, or the past few years. So this means this is a good sign that workers are employed and new people are wanting to come in. Business is good. Now, on the other side, we have the disconnected youth. We have 16 to 19-year-olds who are not interested in working, who don't know what to do. And we see that. We see that from 2020 to 2023, we see an increase, 4 point something percent to five, almost 5% now. That's a concern. And that means that education should be a top priority. There needs to be a higher degree. That's a must. Bachelor's, master's. Now, let's look at the business aspect. So, the number of the growth or decline of a business heavily impacts how many jobs there are available. And as you can see from the graph, we see that the change in jobs in 2020 is an all-time low, but there are more jobs in 2019. And this is def attributed to COVID. Housing costs. So, housing cost burden analyzes households which pay more than 30% of their income towards housing. And the owner burden rate was low in 2013 to 2017, but now it has spiked up in 2018 to 2023. And the greater cost burdened households have a severe impact on housing conditions for the residents. So when we look at the graph, we see that the percent of renters paying income increased by 2.7%, but there were not that many owners paying income. It was only 2.5%. Another important factor in the socioeconomic status is the internet. Having access to internet is paramount. And what we mean is having internet subscription, cellular data, and the satellite internet. That's the those are key components of living in a stable household and being able to communicate with each other. And we also see from the graph here that African Americans have greater access to the internet as of 2023, but the other groups like the Asians, whites, Hispanics, it hasn't really made much of an impact. Now, last, we're going to talk about prosperity. This is how the household income has fared. So, the big picture is the median household income has decreased by 1.9% per capita. Income has decreased by 1.6%, and the median earnings have decreased by 0.2%. Fairly negligible. So, why do we use median earnings? So, we use median earnings to evaluate the 50th percentile of all people's earnings, which is categorized from the lowest to highest. And from this data, we can evaluate where the source of income for each household comes from and how workers' incomes have changed. So we look at the prosperity data here, and what we see is that the median earnings from 2022 to 2023 have decreased by $91. Now, since 2019, median earnings have increased by 6%. And we also see that in 2014, earnings were at an all-time low. But there has been progress over the years. Okay, now to wrap this up, the key points here are that the youth need to take more initiative and find out jobs, get in higher education, and that jobs were not faring well in 2020, but they made progress. Housing cost has increased, which has become a problem for the housing conditions, the residents who live there.